fourth season, I said, hey, imagine, call over a new girl. See if by the fifth season, he called and they're like, look, you can stop calling. We're not going to put the guy back in. And then guess what? Season 7, right when they're about to close the book, who do they need to come in and
Mr.
Yeah.
Hey, Pabs, congrats on the full-time.
Yep.
How do you want to celebrate?
I need you to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right now. Go.
Oh, look who it is.
well, there you go.
How we doing?
Well, can I hear you?
Yeah, you good?
The pelican out of the baggage.
Yeah, wow, that's a piece of art.
Come on, what are you doing? That was nice, yeah.
No, give me a look at that guy. Let me see you. Let me see what we're working with here.
Oh,
Wow.
bigger than expected.
That's a fucking statement
I don't
piece
even get
there,
it.
you know?
It's a pelican.
What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it
We're
going?
doing well. We're doing
Have
well.
we met before? You guys, have I met you either?
Thank
anytime?
God,
First
no,
time.
because if we had, I'd
I
have
think I
killed
would.
myself.
I
would've
think
been-
I would have remembered one of y'all.
I hope. That would have been horribly embarrassing if it was like, yes, Dermot, you've been on a show 4 times before.
Well, I've been tricked before.
I have bad news for you, and this
Understood.
might be tough for you to hear. You're not British. I thought you were British the whole time.
No, here's what happened. See, my folks, they're from Iowa. They're not even from Ireland or anything. You know, they just went nuts with the names.
Yeah.
So
It's not even not even so much your name. It's just
The name helps, though.
The name,
Dermot Mulroney, you expect to be, you know.
the
an
name
Irishman.
helps, but you're a handsome gentleman. You
Yeah.
you look regal. You look like
Well,
if
thank you. I'm a little mullety at the moment,
I-
but it is a
It's
sports show, right? We can
mullets are in.
roll with the mullet.
Mullets are in right now. They're a hot commodity for sure.
It's not intended. I've always tried to not be in. How am I doing? Here's what happened. Sometime in the 2000s, word went out, there's a shitload of money you can make over there in America. If you're one of these, okay, granted, great British actors, you got the acting and the Shakespeare and stuff, but we got Hollywood and we
Yeah.
pay better. So they came over, as the British have done for centuries, in their little boat, and bags of gold, and they go back to their island in the North Atlantic. But there's been a sea change. Here's what's happening. They've been coming over to play all the Americans, right? That seems to work fine because they've trained in accents and they can fake better than us.
Right.
That's what their wives say at least.
Got 'em!
Bang, 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 bang.
Now I see what kind of show I'm like coming home. But now what they need is American guys to go over there and be American. See, it doesn't go both ways. They can come over here and play us. We encourage them to. Do we need to talk about outsourcing? Big mistake economically. Probably only $1 billion of actor salaries that went to England and Australia.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth has most of it.
Am I wrong? But the now they actually need the real
Deal Americans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not the acting thing.
Right, I get that.
Well, what if we hit them with a dose of their own medicine? Because I was thinking, I saw No Time to Die recently. Very nice film, but Daniel Craig's last. They're in
Right.
the market for a Bond, and I was like, Dermot Mulroney, why not?
I know. Couldn't agree with you more.
Can-
And you know,
We
it
gotta-
was so,
but
it
you
was
gotta
so
be
great
the
to look at diversification on this same issue. You know, it's all a lot about diversity, as it should be now. Thank goodness we've moved into a different phase where so many other stories are being told. But so wouldn't it be interesting to have a diverse Bond, like an American?
So now
Yeah.
you're not even gonna
I mean,
fake the
he'll be
accent.
white and middle-aged and all that other crap that we're sick of in the movie. But, you know, make him American. It's a twist, you know? Okay, then he should be a woman or a person of color, let's be honest.
I
It's
think
either me or no, never mind.
Either me or one of the people that it ought to be. But if we can have an exception, I'm your man.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time though, not exactly. You haven't been hurting for work in your career because when we were telling people we were interviewing you, everybody in the office yelled out a different favorite movie or show or character. I mean, you've done a lot, man. A lot of great shit.
Well, that makes me really happy to know, and that you know, that I've appealed to so many different types of stories, and I've been used that way by producers and directors, other actors who've stuck their neck out for me and made those opportunities happen. But yeah, man, I can't begin to tell you what I mean, that's what I set out to do, and I'm doing it, which is to play wildly different types of characters
If you had been typecast in some sort of like mega successful role that, like, you know, where people can't look at you as any other character, would that bother you? Would that have been, you know, something you resented?
Well, it all but happened. I just didn't get used again and again the same way after my best friend's wedding, but I was viewed that way for a long time. I resisted it to some extent, which is kind of stupid looking back. I should have just gone where they were saying, we need you over here.
Ride the wave.
Yeah, but what I did instead was incredible movies that no one else got to do. You know what I mean? That's one of the great things about film acting is it's a one-off. You really do have the ownership creatively of that last length of that character's inception, writer first, director next, and at the very end, before they put it in the can, you have some say in who that is in that story. So to be given that privilege all these different times and for so many different types of characters. So I definitely probably most known for light comedy and so forth. These days, I'm being used completely different. Sometimes maybe because of that, to be
shock and awe.
Contrast to what I'm known for.
Well,
shocking a little bit. But so now that's even made it more wider range of roles that I'm being asked to do.
It does work, because when I saw you on the trailer for Hard Luck Love Song, out this Friday, October 15th, I gasped. Because like I was gonna ask you, like, is there ever, when we were talking about different roles, like, was there ever a role where you're like, hard no, I won't do that? Not even the role, but like something that role requires. And I would have thought shaving the sides of your head would have fallen, and like, nah, I'm not doing
here
that.
I'm kind of back. It's not quite as extreme as old Rollo was in there, but I'll tell you what, that is part what it caught me with that movie, Hard Luck Love Song. It's got such a great spirit, and it really is rooted in American stories and American icons, and it's got a country music base to it. It's in that same kind of framework. So I just love that stuff anyway. I'd be drawn to that anyhow. But our writer wrote it just like that, with the haircut and the attitude and the pool scene, the pool room scenes with Michael Dorman. And it turned out to be an incredible small role for me, but I was gravitated toward it because I thought it was really cool.
You said that these are like, it's an American story, and that makes me feel better about like being obsessed with these kind of stories. Those stories that kind of romanticize alcoholism and like, and they kind of make a little bit of a nice, like, all right, there's a little love story here, but also like you're a drunk who gets in fights. That shit is just
right up your alley. That's wheelhouse for this guy.
I wasn't sure you were gonna say you like it or not.
Oh, I love it. It's just like the.
I like drunks too. I love them. I wish him all the best.
See, we said that once to fucking David Duchovny.
David Duchovny. I once told him like Hank Moody and his character in Californication really kind of resonates with me, and he was like dead serious, like, that's not good. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. And I was like, well, I know that, but geez, I was just trying to have a good laugh about your character, man. Fuck.
Hey, I'll tell you one. When I was on Jimmy Kimmel, I could put it in a year framework when I was still a drinker. He thought it'd be funny, like, you write the Irish name, we'll have shots together, and I turned him down.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to perpetuate a myth about, drunk Irish people, which Jimmy was kind of making the joke on. So I didn't participate. And there's a very raw, awkward pause where he knows his gag's not going to fly. And then I'm like, no,
not doing it. So
you didn't want to perpetuate the stereotype, so you fought him.
Even though I'm sure I had two beers in the dressing room. Of course.
I mean, I was drunk at the time, but I wasn't going to do it on camera. So did he end up doing them like just by himself, or?
I'm afraid he probably did. Yeah. What would you do if you're the host that thought you were going to get the drinking Irish guy to drink on camera on cue?
It is unbelievable, though. As a people, we really don't usually get offended by anything like that. If you imagine bringing out other characters and you just like, let's just do this incredibly stereotypical thing about your people that everyone makes fun of. And the Irish are kind of like, nah, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. It's not a huge deal, but none of it.
We don't seem to mind that much. And I say we, it's for me, I have to identify that way because of my name, but I don't have that much Irishness in my
I've always
life.
felt that.
It's not like I have flags and
Yeah.
Shillelaghs hanging around.
you know, my name's Kevin Clancy. I got Irish names for
Oh,
my
you
kids.
sorry bastard.
But yeah, but
What's your middle name?
Kevin Francis Clancy. I was Frank
and
Rice.
what's your confirmation name?
Matthew.
Mine is too.
Yep, absolutely.
My confirmation name is Connor, and I chose that because of the Boondock Saints.
Yep, exactly. You dumb fucking Nick.
The Connor character was I was like, oh, he kills people in awesome ways.
That's
I'll tell you about Connor. He's my older brother. So he's born in 61 or 2. There were no Connors or Dermots. My other brothers are Sean and Kieran. All 3 of those names. My sister's Maura, bless her, but Sean, Kieran, and Connor have all reemerged. In fact, they've actually become American names, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
There was no such thing. Now, look at your little guy, your tiny little baby, your little baby boy, and you're going, Dermot? Or Kevin? Dermot or Kevin? Not a single person in the United States has chosen Dermot. Not one.
What do people call you? Derm? Do you have a nickname? They just call you Dermot.
They try, and it evaporates without me having to say anything. It just doesn't stick.
Yeah.
I know. I hear it. And I'm like, and they hear it, and they're like,
yeah. That one tasted like charcoal on your tongue, didn't it? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm mostly American, I feel. You know, it's like on St. Patrick's Day, you have a Guinness, and we joke about Boondock Saints when you see that when you're a kid. But I'm not, I'm not an Irishman. I'm an American guy who has some Irish in him,
That's how I ID too.
Right.
I used to think you had such a great American accent. I was like, this guy sounds like he's from Virginia. This is incredible.
Turns out.
Well, that's because we got in the game of trying to figure out whether the guy had a good American accent or not. I'm going back to that.
Yeah.
We used to watch movies without thinking about whether he was or he wasn't.
Yep.
So we went a whole 15 years wondering, does Russell Crowe sound American this time?
Right.
I mean, the guy can act. Bless him.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's all right.
He has a job done.
But go back to your country.
No, I don't mean all that. Some of my best friends are English. Awful. It just sounds so wrong. Anyway,
so what is it like? We talk to a lot of people from New Girl a lot, and they always say that is their like not even yes, we've talked to Jake Johnson a lot. We've talked to Max Greenfield. We've done just Jake and Max. But
that's plenty. Those guys are Technicolor genius comedians.
But even we did Josh Gad as well, who had a bit appearance and across the board.
Right.
It said they say that that's the most they get yelled at in the street the most. How do you get Mr. Fancy Man a lot?
I do, in a way. It's I have such love for that show. I mean, fortunately, I never really went away. But if you wanted to calculate a comeback moment, it had to do with that, because really it was the first time I'd done a couple episodes of Friends, which is a whole other story, because that came back like a tidal wave, and I only did a few, and it was just nothing for a while, and now it's big again. So some of that happened on New Girl, but while New Girl was a new show, it was the first current sitcom comedy appearance that I was making. So I think it really did just jig the navigation on people's thought, oh, he can go play an older boyfriend who's funny. And it just ticked things a little bit. So I play comedy much more than I always did, even though it's one of the things I'm most naturally put here for. So I love everything about that show. It might not hurt, since you guys keep records with sports and all that, right?
Sure.
That their best ratings were right there at the end of that first season.
How about that?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I tell you, I always thought that spoiler for everybody, Nick and Jess end up together. But I always thought it should have been Jess and Mr. Fancy Man and Nick and Megan Fox. I thought those were the couple.
Well, they did all of that on purpose. They really did. So they put one out there. It has echoes of My Best Friend's Wedding. Even they know that's a useful way of stringing people along. But I appeared and messed up at one of their first dates in the second season. I was like, yes, I have an actual, for once, I have a job there. I might. So I didn't hear from him in the third season. I had my agent call. Dermot's happy because I love the show. No. Fourth season, I said, hey, my agent, call over New Girl. See if by the fifth season, he called and they're like, look, You can stop calling. We're not going to put the guy back in. And then guess what? Season 7, right when they're about to close the book, who do they need to come in and?
Mr.
Yeah.
So when was New Girl in comparison to Shameless?
Before that.
Before all that.
So it may have even bounced in that direction for, as I touched on, like now there's a little lane where I play the older guy to our heroine, right?
Yeah,
So
Yeah, we got a bone to pick with you about that, though.
Say again.
We got a little bone to pick with you about Shameless. I don't even know if you know about this.
I was going to say, what is our bone we're picking?
So one day, me and Kevin went out to Hollywood. We were pitching, I don't know if you've ever heard of this stupid phrase, Saturdays are for the boys, but it was hot in the streets for a while.
John coined it as it was a cry of every college kid across the country. Saturdays are for the boys.
Big time thing. So we go about and we hire some woman who promotes merchandising to get them into shows and on movie sets and that kind of stuff. So we were gonna have Saturdays for the Boys stuff all over, and we're at Warner Bros. I forget where Shameless was filmed, but we're on
Warner
set.
Bros.
It was at Warner. Yeah, we're on the lot at Warner. We go into I forget. Is it Pete's Pies? What was the restaurant?
Patsy's Pie.
Patsy's Pies, which you are the manager of, Sean. And they're like, we're gonna have Saturdays for the Boys all over this restaurant. And the manager never put it up.
We thought we were
That's
our
my
moment.
fault. That's right. They did. They asked me about the art direction of a television series. They came to the visiting guest actor and they ran it by me, as they always do. How do you want the set behind you to look? Okay. Am I making some sense to you?
That's the level of
They
control
don't
you always
ask
have.
Dick all of what I think I should be sitting in front of.
I remember watching that season. I was so excited. I was like, this is going to be sad. At this point, I already hated Saturdays for the Boys, but I was still like, I think they said they're going to put some. They just lied to our faces the whole time. They never had any intention of putting
That whole thing went like #0 chapter 11. What happened with Saturdays for the Boys? You still got some trickling, some residuals?
Yeah, no. The company did real well with it.
The company made quite a pretty penny. John himself,
No, I still do a
literal penny.
podcast.
Yeah, we're still here. So, tell me about the new project, though. Tell me about Hard Luck Love Song.
Well, it's kind of it's an existential love poem to an American dream gone awry. How's that sound?
That was pretty
that's
fucking good
pretty
off the top like
Yeah,
that.
We'll do that as a poll quote.
Yeah, I was gonna say, put that
I
on.
was acting like the publicist was standing right there for this. No,
No, you're talking to the Pelican.
Yeah, just about.
I was talking to the Pelican, who is there. in the station.
No, the Cowboy.
I would like to mention that I'm broadcasting today from what we call Wilmington, North Carolina, but it is in fact the indigenous ancestral home of the Lumbee tribal group and the, I almost have it, Wakamana.
That-
Anna.
What exactly is that? Well, I mean, I know
Those
it
are
sounds
the
like a
two
tribe.
indigenous tribal groups that inhabited this area before anybody came over and effed everything up.
I get
But we call it Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wakamana. The way you said that too, though, it felt special.
Do you live in Wilmington?
No, I'm here working on a movie here.
Okay, that's my next question.
With the
was gonna be
semi-mullet.
why?
No, Wilmington's a great town, and North Carolina's been kind to me. I worked here a couple times recently. Really good folk. Of course.
Let's just ask you this then. What's the worst town you ever been to?
What's the first what?
Worst town you ever been to? What's a town where
worst
Dermot
town.
Mulroney will never be seen ever again?
Gosh. Yeah, see,
It's a dangerous game to play.
a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
You know what I'd rather touch on?
My favorite.
But I don't know, because some of the worst towns I enjoyed so much because, of course, I'll have an assignment like that with the coolest people on earth. So it always balances out. And I don't need a whole lot, so I'm not real like, I wish this place had a.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not lacking.
Low key.
You'll never recall that.
But I guess I was going to talk about how mean people are on the line and how rampant that has become in sport and why y'all got to be like that.
One of our
That's all I
favorite
wanted to
things to
say.
talk about. Then.
We
Is
actually,
it really? Because I will from now on, but I haven't seen you guys. I know about your movements and stuff, and I have a sense of how awesome your perspective on things are. I didn't know if it included that. So if you're
Well,
already
we
spoken to
actually
it,
we just had a run-in with John Cusack. So one of our guys here is a huge Chicago White Sox fan, and they're in the playoffs right now. And John Cusack is a White Sox fan as well, but often at times has been seen wearing a Cubs hat and cheer for the Cubs. So our White Sox guy confronted him outside the game the other day, and they had a nose-to-nose little spat.
Not quite nose to nose.
It was nose
John
to nose like
Cusack
this.
is significantly taller.
He was
than the
looking
other
down
guy.
on his nose, but there was an argument over, if you're allowed to do that. Now, I'm a Mets fan living in New York. By no means can a Mets fan root for the Yankees or a Yankees fan root for the Mets, and I think it's kind of the same way in Chicago. So John caught some heat from our crowd, but then he also really stepped up and kind of went in the face of our guy, which we love. We love our own getting beat up by people. It's amazing. So it was this, like, everybody had some points in the win column and the loss column. But yeah, because people can just be motherfuckers online, man. They really
then
can
people
be.
pull out their super mean, and it's so weird. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not enough of those people actually played sports where sometimes really what happens is you lose a bunch of the time, and then you learn how to not be a prick.
Yeah, it's not even necessarily sports. It's just like, learning not how to be a prick in life because,
I mean, it's across the board everywhere.
Right.
It just occurred to me that it
friends,
just must be rampant.
relationships, work, like everything is, and it's of course things that they would never, ever, ever say to your face. But they're gonna do it online.
No, I'm lucky. I don't have any media or anything like that. So I don't really.
What's that like?
Smart man.
That must be so.
Well, I feel even luckier and luckier that I don't, since it seems even since I tried out Instagram or whatever, it wasn't even as mean as it was now, like 5 years ago. Am I wrong?
No, it's
even meaner.
Every day it gets meaner, brother. Every single day, and I don't know where it ends.
I'm so glad now that I'm not, and I don't think I'm missing anything like in my economy by not being in it. That's all I thought. Maybe it'll make me more money somehow.
Well, yeah. Do you have like publicists and managers and agents being like, you got to be on Instagram or no?
No, a couple times if you work for one of the bigger companies or a network, they were pushing you to do it.
Right.
But that too I have a problem with, because then their highly paid marketing department is having you do it for free.
Yeah, and you're taking all the beating.
Their salary, I'll run your whole page if you pay me a quadrant of what she's getting for being the head of the market.
Yeah,
They've passed the labor costs have evaporated for selling your own thing, and they expect the actor to do it right, to do it without their own opinion thrown in. They expect to like company speak for free time. So no,
I think Kevin Hart or Vin Diesel, one of those. So I don't know how I'm conflating the two. But they look very different. But one of them like kind of put their foot down and was like, no, I'm not tweeting about this movie unless you pay me to tweet about this movie because you paid me to act in the movie.
And I don't tweet, so it's not my issue. But it seems like in other ways, our economy's like, since things got technical, like even you used to call up and talk to somebody, then you called up and talk to a computer. Now you do all that and log in and do all that labor before you even get on the phone. You know what I mean? They're sending the labor downstream to the consumer.
Makes total sense.
Because of tech.
Big tech.
Let's
and have them do the work. I don't know. It's fashioned that way.
Let's wrap up on a good note, though.
I don't know why I went into all this.
It's fascinating, and I never thought about how it really is just you're doing their work for free. But on a lighter note, I don't know if I can ask you to pick a favorite because I know you guys always dodge that question. But out of all the movies, TV shows.
Oh, well, as long as you can say co-star, I'll answer.
Well, out of all those different projects, all those different sets you've been on, what was the most fun? What one stood out with the most clowning around behind the scenes or bloopers?
Gosh, I don't know. One of my problems, the reason where I'm at is because I kind of developed an exaggerated personality and class clown and try to make up for being small or big family or whatever, right? Like put myself in. So I have a blast everywhere I go, even the worst movies. I have a great time with the people. Even when I'm supposed to, this movie's like super dramatic, has some humor in it, but really dark thriller, the one Breakwater that I'm working on now. But we're on a dock with there's a kid and we're goofing around, and then you get, so that's just the way I'm do it and keep it light. But all that being said, the greatest groups of people I were with made all the difference. And again, not by comparison, but Young Guns was just indelible experience in every way. The Gray similar reasons.
Great
Liam
movie.
Neeson's movie where we're all in real conditions and actually have the adventure that they're filming. And August Osage County a couple years ago with Meryl Streep, Julia Roberts, Chris Cooper, Margot Martindale, just this
heavy hitters,
incredible cast with the All-Star. Literally like playing, mid-season at the All-Star game on that one. So that's where I get my best experiences from the other people.
What's it like being a huge, and this is probably one of your best experiences too, you're a huge part of my Christmas morning. How's that? How's that one sit with you, Dermot?
I'm fine with that as long as it's either, I know what you're going to say, but the joke would be, I'm so glad that you enjoyed Christmas Train.
I was going to say the Hallmark. Don't undersell the Hallmark. That is a Hallmark Hall of Fame. The Christmas Train. It's right up there at the top of the list too.
We pop out a Family Stone and we get a bowl of wine, and then we just all sit there and we drink red wine out of a bowl at about 7 o'clock in the morning on Christmas morning. I've talked about that before. Don't be so surprised.
I didn't know you did it with your
Don't
family.
be
though. That's
so
great.
surprised. It's just a bowl.
Yeah, it's a bowl of wine. It's how it was supposed. It's how the Romans drank wine, Kevin and Dermot.
The Family Stone is one of those incredible movies that actually will.
Wow.
Great noise. Will stand the test of time, is doing
Forever.
that. And if I've made handfuls of movies, there's really about one handful that will just last forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'm starting to see some that emerge. One of them's Angels in the Outfield. You know what? People still just love that movie.
Yeah, man.
Sports movie. Long Gone is a great sports movie from 1986 or 7 with Billy Peterson playing the Grapefruit League baseball manager and me, the rookie second baseman.
Look at this.
Man. Grapefruit League. I haven't heard a Grapefruit League reference in quite some time.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of
we're
those
making a movie about the baseball in the 50s, but now we're making a movie about baseball in the 50s in the 80s.
Yeah.
As much time has gone by,
Right.
as had gone by that we were playing vintage baseball.
That's a great point.
That
Yeah.
is wild.
Shit's getting old,
I'm
man,
more.
and you're standing the test of time, dude. All these roles
man.
are timeless, and I'm sure.
Congratulations
I'm sure this one
on the new Bond. That's unbelievable.
too. Yeah, start speaking with an accent, and it's all yours, brother.
Wait till you see me in the wig and the push-up bra. It's gonna be, then we have an issue. Look, you can't play James Bond as a woman. No.
All right, brother. Well, we
Hey, I
appreciate-
drove by Michael Jordan's house the other day because he grew up in Wilmington, played high school ball here.
That's right.
By the high
Got
school.
cut from that high school team. Not people remember that.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me that he and I are peers in age, maybe about a year off. And how long has Michael Jordan been off the court?
Yeah, look at you. You're still working.
Yeah.
Mostly I'm on the bench playing relief. But
People have been
still-
saying it.
still on the
Dermot
team.
Mulroney, harder worker than
Michael
Michael Jordan.
Jordan.
I heard it a lot.
Headlines. That'll be the headline. Dermot Mulroney puts down
I'm
Michael
sure
Jordan.
I've done less sit-ups than he, lifetime,
Yeah.
but maybe for a longer duration of amount of time.
Okay.
I'm still doing them. Do you think MJ's still crunching?
No, he's doing the curls with the cigar though.
Yeah.
Cigar, a little tequila. He's
At a steakhouse and the highway's named after him.
What a bum that Jordan guy is.
What a yeah, he fell with his ass in the butter, didn't he?
Hard Luck Love is
No,
out
hard
this
worker.
Friday, October 15th.
Hard worker for that short career of his. He really worked hard.
Thank you so much, Derek, man. Have a great one.
What a pleasure, you guys. Have me on anytime. I'll come and have a laugh with you.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely,
yes
brother.
sir. Thank you so much.
Really a blast.
Have a good one.
Thanks tons.
All right, the holiday season is approaching. All I want for Christmas this year is YouTube subscribers.
Please.
We got to get to 100,000. I want that
Please, sir, can you buy
100,000
these
plaque.
subscribers?
We've got a goal for all you out there, for everybody. At 100,000 subscribers, Polly Feidelberg will join us on the show. Maybe. Well, if not, we'll probably have to trick her into it. But at 100K, you will get Polly content. So subscribe, click the bell icon so you get notifications so that you're always watching. Leave a comment below. Talk about it. Post about it. Spread word. Tell your friends. 100,000 subscribers on KFC Radio for Polly Feidelberg. Let's make it happen.